Okay, so this is our Mamba lightweight cased entry system. Ultra portable, weighs around 10 kilos and very, very simple to use. Designed around a fire service requirement to gain access to containers with unknown substances. We've got 4 main components. We've got the hand controller, service umbilical, the drive unit, and then we've got the mechanical drill head. The hand controller, or phaser as some people like to call it, contains a pressure vessel which provides us with all the downforce that we require to drill. And it also provides us with the power that we need to actually rotate the drill. And this just fits in the housing. The service umbilical gives us a 5-meter standoff. And this is what connects the hand controller to the drive unit itself. Gives us the rotation and the downforce to allow us to drill the target. And then we've got the mechanical drill head. This has the 6mm drill bit in the base, and it has 2 ports, a sampling port and an empty port. So with this system, we can drill it so we can gain access. We can obtain a physical sample, which allows us to then use our detection equipment to identify the content, and we can then empty the content. And we could also backflush the contents with decontamination solution or anything else that we may wish to put into the target. So the mechanical drill head, we attach using the mechanical method. There's 2 options with the mechanical method. We have the ratchet strap method and we have the band clamp. Now the band clamps are for the smaller targets and the ratchet straps for the larger targets. The mechanical head, as you can see, has got these pins, stainless steel pins on either side. And this is how we attach our band clamp or our strap. Now as you can see, the band clamp has got 2 ends. One end has got an adjustment screw and we want that to be in free space for when we need to adjust. You need kind of 3 hands for this operation. You line that up there and place the pin through the holes and ensure that this pin is placed back in the hole. That's one side fitted and it's giving me access to my screw thread. We'll complete exactly the same on the other side. Remove the pin and then choose the appropriate sized piece to match the target. In this case I'm using the small. Inserting the pin and then putting the locking pin in place. That is our attachment clamp attached to the mechanical head. Assembly is fairly simple, 4 main components. First of all, we've got the hand controller. So I tend not to fit the power source at this stage from a safety aspect, but what I need to do is connect the service umbilical to the handset. The service umbilical has got a male and a female end. So the male needs to go into the female. Again, this provides our electrical and pneumatic connection to the drive unit. You simply push that into location and then twist the screw thread to lock that into place. You need to ensure that's screwed all the way down so that you don't get air leak or a loose electrical connection. So we now need to attach the opposing end, the female end of the service umbilical to the drive unit, pneumatic connection, electrical connection, and then we just need to line them up and push them fully home. And then we just use our finger and thumb to tighten that connector up. Important to make sure again it's connected all the way to prevent air leaks or a loose connection. That's it, fully assembled. The only thing we would need to do now at the appropriate time is to attach the power source. Attaching the head to the target itself. First of all, remove the red safety cap. Now we've already placed the band clamps on and we've matched them to the target. Just ensure that these safety pins are locked in, otherwise that'll cause problems later down the line. You're checking for a drill bit being present, and you're also checking that the CBRN chemical resistant seal is also present on the target. Slide that underneath the target. You may have to lift the target in reality and clamp that down onto the target. The CBRN seal is the thing that's performing the airtight seal. We need to ensure that we've got a tight seal on that, so we use the adjustment screw and we'll tighten that up. The great thing about the mechanical head is we can test that seal now, the seal between the head itself and the target, before we drill any holes into the target. And we do that by using this test pump. So we have this test pump which allows us to test the seal between the drill head and the target. It's effectively a bicycle pump, but it's got some key design features that allows it to do the thing that we're trying to get it to do. We've got a tap here which allows us to pressurize the pump and test the pump before we do it, and also to release the pressure once we've done that. The first thing we do is ensure that tap is closed, pump the pump, and then looking at the gauge on the top, ensure that the pump itself holds pressure. Pump it holds pressure, and then we're good to continue. If not, then we need to do some fault finding and look at where the leak is coming from. We then release the pressure by opening the tap, ensure that we close the tap again. That's the pump prepared to test the seal. All of our equipment has got bespoke connectors on it. This end is what we call the female dry brake coupler, and most of the drill heads have got the male end of the dry brake coupler, and this is how we mate the two together. So what we're doing in this instance is mating the female to the male dry brake coupler by just pushing like that. I don't need to touch any of the couplers. If I wanted to take it off, I pull the sleeve back and remove it like so. Attachment, just push it on and it'll lock into position. So I'm now ready to test the seal between the head and the target. I need to ensure that this tap is in the closed position and the tap that's on the drill head is in the open position. And then when I pump, I'm looking for pressure to be retained within the drill head. So I've pumped there now, and I'm at 4 bar, and I'm checking that that's going to hold pressure for around 20 seconds. During this time, I can move the drill head, give it a little tap either way to ensure that the pressure still holds inside the target. I'm content that that pressure is holding, so the seal is good. I now need to release the pressure from that portion because I don't want the drill to be fighting against pressure in the drill head. I close that off, close my tap, and then remove the coupler. So we're now in a position where we can prepare the system to conduct the drilling operation. So what we need to do is apply power to the hand controller and also to pressurize the vessel inside the hand controller. So we slide the battery in and lock it into position. So we're now ready to pressurize the hand controller using our commercial off-the-shelf bike pump with a modified end. So this end is a pressure release valve to ensure we don't over-pressurize our vessel. This end pushes into the blue push-fit connector in the rear and locks into position like so. We can then press start on here to pressurize the vessel. The vessel is now pressurized, so we can disconnect the pump, and our system is now ready to attach. So the drive unit and the drill heads need to be attached together, but we use a one-way bearing which turns a cylindrical surface into a hex surface, and we do that by using this driver. It's got a thread internally which allows us to insert it with this tool, and we insert this into the drive shaft of the drill head. We can then unscrew the tool, which leaves the driver inserted within the drill head. We're now ready to attach the drill head to the target itself. We've got this locking mechanism here with a slide out latch, which allows us to locate on these two cutouts on the drill head. We point the cable either in line with the sample port or away from the sample port. Locate like that and slide out the latching mechanism and allow it to lock into place. So we're now ready to commence our drilling operation. In this instance, I'm going to stand next to it, but we've got 5 meters here, so we can back off 5 meters round a corner behind a wall to give us some standoff from the target. Now on the hand controller, as you can see, there's a red dot, and this is what indicates to us that the drill has reached full drill depth. It doesn't tell us that it's breached the target. It's your choice to choose the most appropriate drilling method for the target. It's capable of drilling 60 millimeters. If you've chosen a 20 millimeter target, then it's not going to drill through it. But at 16 millimeters, this will light up to tell us we've finished our drilling operation. As you can see, there's a trigger here, and we pull the trigger and the drill will commence. And we're just waiting for the red light to light up to tell us that the drilling operation has finished. Dependent on the thickness of the target, will be how long it takes to drill through. So you see our red light here now, so we can release the trigger and move on to the next phase. You can now remove the drive unit from the drill head, pull the latch out, lift upwards, and place down on the ground in the upward position. As you can see, in this instance, this shaft is in the target. That tells us that the drill bit is still in the hole. Using the same tool, we can screw that onto the shaft and we can remove the drill bit from the target. This is also a good indicator of whether the target is under pressure. If your drill bit is inserted down inside the target, then the chances are there is no pressure or very low pressure inside the target. If it is inserted into this position, then you may be dealing with a pressurized target. You then remove the tool. The drill head is now ready to conduct the sampling. With the mechanical head, we can either drill it into the liquid level or we can drill into the ullage. In this case, we've drilled the top, so we've drilled into the ullage. The one thing you need to be able to do if you drill in the ullage is to be able to move the target. Because if you imagine that the liquid now is sitting below this head, we want the liquid to be in contact with the head. So you have to be able to rotate the target. If you drill in a large target, you would drill into the liquid level. So we change the orientation of the target. And then this is the port that we're concerned with. This is the sampling port. And then what we have is a sampling syringe. Now, this connector will become familiar. This is the female dry brake coupler. This is the male dry brake coupler. And it attaches in the exact same way as the pump did. This syringe is chemically resistant. It's got a series of seals in here, and the body itself is also chemically resistant. And this is what we draw samples from all of our equipment into. If we want to, we can transpose it into a what we call a download bottle. Again, the connector is familiar. It's the male dry brake coupler, and we can push the liquid into there. One thing we like to do before we try and draw off the target is to make sure that our syringe is in good working order using the download bottle. We try not to put our hands on the back in case there's any pressure in the target, so we hold the syringe to the side and we push the coupler until it latches into position. We can then open the tap. Now if there was any pressure in the target, this syringe would immediately move to the back. This is an indicator to us that we're dealing with an unpressurized target. And then I can slowly pull the sample into my syringe like so. I can close the tap and just using my thumb and forefinger, just slowly release the sample syringe. Now there's a capillary action. There's a tiny drop of the substance on this surface and there's a tiny drop on this surface. And we use these to identify the contents. So we can use, for instance, a 3-colour detector paper on one surface and maybe a detector like the AP4C on the other surface. We can also shine a Raman laser through the side of this to give us 3 different technologies, all hopefully telling us that the contents are the same. If we want to split or download the sample, then we can attach our sampling syringe to the download bottle and place substance in. You might want to halve it, or you might want to create multiple samples. And then you can package these up and send direct to the laboratory. So one of the Raman detectors we used is the Surstech Arcs Mark II, and we've got a substance in this syringe now that we've just taken from the target. I'm going to try and identify the substance. So I choose what target type I've got, whether it's a thin, medium or thick target. And this is around 4mm, so we're going to choose the thick target. And it's now scanning. See by the red light here that the laser is actually in operation. And there we go, we get a result. It says it's methyl salicyate, which is MS.